Uncle Chunt.
Oi, Uncle Chunt here, welcome back. So I just want to make a quick video about some chat that's been going on with Henry Cavill, DC Universe, Zack Snyder, Aquaman, Shazam. There's a lot in that. So let's try and unpack that. So look, first up, I'll go into Zack Snyder. All right, so we all know how screwed he got. He got screwed over real bad by Warner Brothers, Joss Whedon. I don't know how much involvement he had, but I'm gonna include him in there anyway, because I know he did what he could with the time Warner Brothers allowed him, but he didn't stick to the original vision of that film, and that's a whole nother video altogether. But Zack Snyder, he's been really quiet, really quiet. And I signed up to, everybody's jumping on the bandwagon for Vero, this Vero app. It's like a more kind of professional looking Instagram. I've had an account on there for ages, like over a year or so now, mainly because that's kind of Zack Snyder's only account that he uses. He doesn't use Twitter or Instagram or whatever. So I had the app just to follow him, and now everybody's jumping onto it, so it's cluttering up my newsfeed. Anyway, so Zack Snyder recently shared, I'm going to put them up on the screen now as I talk about them. I'm just going to open up the app for a moment. So Zack Snyder, he made a post. First up, there was a post of him, and you see this on your screen now. It's his thumb. I believe it's his thumb. So it's kind of like, I'm probably reading into this, but it's like Zack Snyder Cut, you know, the whole hullabaloo that's going around at the moment about releasing the Zack Snyder Cut of his film. It's probably nothing, right? So Zack Snyder hurt his thumb, but it's Zack Snyder Cut. Anyway, so moving on, the next photo that he put up was this. Found this guy. So is he kind of just talking about he found Henry Cavill? I mean, but Henry Cavill's had a career before Man of Steel, but he was only really widely known when he did Man of Steel. But Superman's also Hope, right? So found this guy. Does that mean he found Hope? Before then he's got the Snyder Cut? Am I bridging too much into this? Is there hope that the Snyder Cut is coming? And then his next one was heading home with a photo of just some trees and whatever. But look, I'm going to believe what I want to believe. I'm going to read into this. I don't know if anyone's kind of picked up on it or not, but I seem to believe, because there's been some changes at Warner Brothers and DC Films. There's a new vice president of DC Creative Films or whatever, and she's kind of already wrecking house in a good way. She's realigning, and she seems to have some good cred. And Warner Brothers Pictures also has a new lead, so it just seems very timely. Like, it wouldn't surprise me with all this backlash that they got for the Justice League. And I don't know if you can hear that rain, but holy crap, it's raining heavily. So I want to believe that they're kind of wanting to make amends and save face a bit and be like, look, let's finish your cut. It just seems very timely that all those changes have been made. There's a new VP, and she's super fine, by the way. I don't know, I think she's attractive. And now he's kind of making these posts and liking everybody's statuses, and even people in the production staff that had something to do with Justice League, when they're saying something negative about what we got, he's liked a lot of these posts. So it's like, fuck, really, like, come on, just give us something. Like, I know they're going to get the initial Blu-ray release out the door. Like, I've got mine pre-ordered, the Digibook edition, with a lenticular cover, so it matches everything else. I love those, man. I wish they would do more. That's why I love physical media. Anyway, that's a whole other rant. So look, that's happening. Probably clutching at straws, but I'm going to think what I want to believe and I think that's what's happening. We're going to get the Zack Snyder Cut. Warner Brothers in the new leadership are like, look, you got screwed. Let's finish your vision and give what the fans want, because obviously they're not happy. So let's do it. Can you hear that rain? No, you will not rain on my parade. I have a good thing going. Alright, so we have another report coming out. I'm just going to talk a little louder just in case. Another report of Henry Cavill looking to extend his DCEU contract. So yeah, I know this was 3 days ago. Give me a break, I work full time. So Henry Cavill's like, he's been vocal ever since he became Superman in Man of Steel, how much he loves the character, and he just seems to embody the character really well. That's another reason why I like him so much as Superman. He does a really good job, but he's also off screen is just a really top bloke by the looks. And look, I think he's been short-handed a little bit with his stint as Superman so far. Man of Steel is, I still believe, is near a masterpiece, visually and audibly and everything. It's just, and just as a story, like it's so good. Even if it was just a one-off, it's like, holy shit, that was fucking great. And yeah, he got kind of sidelined a bit in BVS, which I still think is just a fucking amazing film. Amazing, especially the Ultimate Cut. But in Justice League, there was a lot of his bits cut out. And I'm just, you can tell, now that I know all the stuff that's been going on in the background, which I tried to be like la 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 about, I didn't want to hear any of it going into the film, but now after it's out, I've been reading up about a lot of it, and I'm just like, fuck me. Knowing what we could have got compared to what we did get, I actually liked the film, but now not so much, you know, because we could have got something else. Anyway, so look, all of that aside, I'm still happy with the fact that, according to the reports here, that Cavill wants to do more Superman. Of course, he loves it, and he said as much. He hasn't explored the Superman that he wants to yet. He hasn't told the stories that he wants to tell with Superman yet. And you know, he's 34, man. Like, Man of Steel came out in 2013. It's now 2018. You know, and we don't even have a Man of Steel 2 yet. I know we've had 3 appearances, but he hasn't had his own solo sequel yet. Anyway, look, in that regard, I think he's had a bit of a disservice. As much as I like what we've gotten so far, but these reports, I'm glad that he wants to keep going. So, according to this, even besides all the negative crap that's been coming out of Justice League, even after when Justice League came out, everybody was saying, wow, like, Superman was really cool. You know, like, people were happy, like, holy shit, that's the Superman that we're finally getting now, like, that we've known. And look, I agree that Superman for the 5 minutes at the end of the film was like, holy shit, like, that's Superman. Like, I loved everything else, but it's just cool to see progression. Like, it's that character arc, you know, from where he is and then now he's here, kind of thing. I would have liked to have seen what Zack Snyder's version of his Superman in Justice League would have been like, but whatever, this is what we've got. So look, going into all of that crap aside, Shazam coming out next year. It's you know, it's only just started filming this year, so Shazam in 2019. Cavill has one more appearance on his contract, so he's in talks to renew his contract because he wants to extend it for more Superman films, but he wants to make his Shazam appearance the final one in his current contract, and then re-up for the inevitable Man of Steel sequel. So we're all bummed, as was I, like after Justice League, when he's like, yeah, I've only got one more appearance as the last Son of Krypton in my contract, and there was like no talks at the time as to what was going on. So the new rumor is, yes, like he wants to do his last appearance in Shazam, and he wants to re-up his contract, kicking off with Man of Steel 2 with a new deal. And apparently both parties, like he and Warner Brothers, are very open to the idea, which is great to hear. Holy shit. If anything positive has come out of the DC universe as a whole is people like Henry Cavill's Superman, or how he embodies the character. Maybe not so much the movies or the stories told, but him like acting as Superman in the role, they've taken to that, and just the way he looks and everything, like he just embodies Superman, man. And like at the moment the talks are there, but it's just a matter of what's the phrase that they use here? A matter of contractual logistics. So I guess they want to avoid some of this Mission Impossible 6 Justice League nonsense and just get some clear window to lock him in. Which, I mean, fuck, come on. I mean, just do it. I can't believe it's going to be probably 2020 when we get another Superman film, like a solo Man of Steel 2, if they call it that. I just want it to be called Superman, or you know, Superman Man of Tomorrow, or something, you know. Or if they do Brainiac as the villain, which Krypton seems like it's getting us ready for, you know, to kind of have Brainiac in our mindset. I mean, it was just in Justice League, Injustice 2 as the main villain. So there's a lot of Brainiac stuff going on, and an animated movie only a few years back. So, you know, it's like getting us used to Brainiac. I just have a feeling that Brainiac's going to be it in the sequel. So they're currently working on it. There's no like lockdown script or anything at the moment. There's not even a solid director tied to it yet, but at least we know that all parties are keen to keep Cavill around, and Cavill wants to stay around. Because, I mean, I'm going to get real for a moment. Man, I'm going to be so incredibly bummed. Like, if Cavill came out and was like, you know what, Justice League really soured my taste. I'm out. I don't want to do Superman anymore. I'm going to do my Mission Impossible 6, and I'm going to branch out. I would be so cut, because, fuck, he's just so good. So good as Superman. And he's just a good guy. Like, you know, whatever. I'll watch his movies anyway. Like, I'm a legit fan of Henry Cavill now. Like, I didn't know he existed until he was cast as Superman. But looking at his other stuff, I went back and watched Immortals shortly after he was cast, just to get an idea of who this guy is. And I'm not going to watch The Tudors because it's not my thing, but I've seen enough clips on YouTube, and you know, he's done a lot more. And Man of Uncle was really good. You know, and he's done some other smaller stuff. I think Bruce Willis is in one of them. I saw that. It wasn't too bad either. So, you know, I'm a fan, so I want to see him around. So Aquaman, moving on to some Aquaman stuff. Aquaman seems to be having some positive reviews in some of the test screenings, or at least positive talk. But we've heard this before. But James Wan seems to be very like, just fuck off and leave me do my thing. Doesn't give a shit. You know, he does what he does. So I have hope for this film. I mean, he had his pick. When they brought James Wan in to choose, like, essentially, well, Thunder, like, to bring home the actual conversation in a nutshell, they were like, Warner Brothers is like, hey man, do you want to do a DC film? Take your pick of characters. And he chose Aquaman. So he has a good idea. And it sounds like he's going to be a winner. And a lot of the stuff I've seen from behind the scenes seems to be like comic accurate, man, and I'm super keen. Like, even Black Manta himself is going to have the big like UFO helmet looking thing. I can't wait. That's going to be so cool, you know. And they seem to be embracing the comic book origins, and we're going to apparently get the actual comic accurate suit, you know, the gold and the green scales and stuff. Well, I'm really excited for Aquaman. And I think a lot of people are, just in general, especially after Justice League. It was one of the highlights of the film that everybody came out saying, like, yeah, they had issues, but damn, Aquaman is cool. You know, a bit of a dude bro, but it was cool. So, I guess what I'm really trying to say in this kind of rant is just, we've had a lot of negativity for the DCEU so far. Even though that's not its official term, DCEU. But the DC films haven't had a good run. I'm not blind to it. I love them. I've enjoyed all of them until I knew what happened later. So I'm super excited as to what's to come. And it's good to know that the actors are still keen to do it. You know, like Gal Gadot, obviously, she's had the best success out of all of them, really. That's the one film that's been embraced by everybody. out of all of them. So I just look, in a perfect world, I wish the DC film universe had the family feel, or like the vibe that the Marvel films have. Like all the actors are tight, you know, and they're always like, they know they're in a safe spot, you know, and having fun. They're not under pressure to succeed. They're not under pressure to please, because somehow everybody's drinking the Marvel Kool-Aid and just accepts these movies. You know, and they're good movies. I'm not shitting on them. I've liked a lot of them. Not most of them, but a lot of them. So, you know, just, you know, fuck off. You know, just let this stuff happen. Let me be happy with these films. Execs, just bugger off and let the creators create. You know, just put someone in charge. Just give me what I need. Like, I used to make a joke of like, no, I'm not going to say that. So I think DC films are heading into an okay spot. I say okay because it's uncertain. Like, Cavill wants to do Man of Steel 2 and more Superman films. Shazam. Whoa, that thunder, bro. That was very timely. It said Shazam and there's thunder in the sky. Oh boy. So we got Shazam coming, which no one would ever thought we'd get a Shazam film. I thought we'd never get a Shazam film, because he's not known, man. Like he's known as the big cheese, you know, he's Captain Marvel, but you know, he's Shazam now. But not a moment did I think Shazam would come out before a new Batman solo film, you know, or a Green Lantern solo film at the very least. But we're getting a Shazam. I mean, that's cool. It's a very cool character. And you know, we got Aquaman coming this year as well. And you know, shit's happening. So you know, I think we're gonna head in a more positive light. Everybody can get over it. The Zack Snyder's off the movies, unfortunately. So I think, you know, I don't think Zack Snyder's going to come back anytime soon. Mainly because, you know, he's been burnt. You know, he wouldn't want to stick around for this shit and go through it all over again. I don't blame him from leaving. You know what? I honestly don't blame him if he never came back. From all this bullshit, you know, he's put 10 years of his life into these films for people just to shit on him and the studio to turn their backs on him and be like, fuck you. Even though he has like a massive fan base for these films, you know, it's just fuck. Yeah, I don't blame you for leaving, Zach, or if you never came back, I wouldn't blame you. So look, you know, this is one of my Ranting Chunt episodes where I do rant on. That's why I call them Ranting Chunt, so you know what the fuck you're in for. Not a 10-minute kind of information splurge. So look, I don't know. Am I delusional? Let me know in the comments below. Do you think that I shouldn't be thinking so positively? Do you think I'm in denial for thinking things are going to get better in the DC film world? I'm going to happily ignore you anyway, if you have anything negative, because this is my world, la 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 la. So look, at the end of the day, thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel, because I put a lot of effort in this. Might not seem like it, but I have. Uncle Chunt. Thanks for watching this video, I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please subscribe and check out some of my other recent videos. Have a good one.